رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. سبحانك لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا، اللهم علمنا ما ينفعنا وزدنا علما. اللهم اجعل أعمالنا خالصة لوجهك ولا تجعل فيها حظا لغيرك، آمين يا رب العالمين. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. ما شاء الله. How's everyone doing? Alhamdulillah. It's been a long time. Inshallah. Everyone's well. Definitely good to be back. Definitely good to see everybody. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept our efforts of coming out, and may our coming together be beneficial. Ameen ya Rabbal Alameen. So alhamdulillah, we find ourselves going through one of the greatest months, the month of Ramadan. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept our efforts as is made in the month of Ramadan. May it be a means of us having drawn closer to Him, inshallah. And very importantly, now is the time to practice, or to put into practice whatever efforts we've made. Ameen ya Rabbal Alameen. So a very important reminder, just latching onto that before we get into the surah, is the fact that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us the month of Ramadan for a particular purpose, obviously, and we know that. And if we look at the lives of the Sahaba radiallahu anhum, how they revolved their lives around the month of Ramadan, because they knew what they could achieve. The Sahaba radiallahu anhum would, about 6 months in advance, already start asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to allow them to see the month of Ramadan. So generally we know the dua 2 months in advance. Allahumma barik lana fi Rajab wa Sha'ban wa ballighna Ramadan. They would do it 6 months in advance, because they understood, the weight and what they are able to achieve in the month of Ramadan. And by asking, not only they would ask, but they would prepare themselves mentally, spiritually, and they would ensure that they really did well in the month of Ramadan. Just a simple example: a person who generally is not connected to reciting throughout the year, he doesn't really recite throughout the year. When it comes to the month of Ramadan and he wants to finish a khatam, it's almost impossible. It's like climbing Mount Everest to finish that khatam, because there was no consistency, no preparation. But the person who was consistent in the month of Ramadan, whatever he generally done will now be a bit easier. So they will do that 6 months in advance, and thus we know that they achieve great heights. We always mention it, and sometimes I don't know if it's good to mention it, because it sometimes seems like a deterrent. But the fact that Imam Shafi rahimahullah anhu in the month of Ramadan read 60 khatams, it seems impossible. How is it possible to read 2 khatams a day? But that was the connection to the Quran, that was the preparation they had for the month of Ramadan, and in the month of Ramadan they were only able to boost. So that is important. So the month has come, there's certain efforts that we made, alhamdulillah. And then 6 months after the month of Ramadan, the Sahaba radiallahu anhu would ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to accept their Ramadan, because look what they were able to achieve. So for 6 months they would ask, oh Allah, accept my Ramadan, and they would look at their actions to see whether their Ramadan is accepted. And this is very important. After the month of Ramadan, are we still as conscious as we were in Ramadan now? What are our actions like? Are still connected to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? So they would check this to see if the Ramadan is accepted. And we need to do the same thing, because the month of Ramadan had an objective. The month of Ramadan's objective was لَعَلَّكُمْ تَتَّقُونَ. And Shaykh Yazeed Khan, he has such a beautiful post, and he says if we live with the consciousness outside of Ramadan like we live in Ramadan, so there's a heightened consciousness of Ramadan. He says if we live outside of Ramadan with that consciousness, then the day of judgment will be our Eid day. Like in Ramadan, you excel at your work, and then you have a celebration. You make the takbir of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He says if you live with that consciousness outside of Ramadan, then the day of judgment will be our Eid day. And may it be that for us, inshallah. So the objective of the month is لَعَلَّكُمْ تَتَّقُونَ, that we attain this consciousness. And now, for 30 days of training, it's now time to practice, and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant us the ability to practice, inshallah. And that was the main objective of the month of Ramadan. It's not to do an extra 20 rakats after Aisha. You see somebody in the masjid and say, come join me, I'm going to make this, 20 rakats, like crazy. But that's not the objective. The objective in Ramadan was to give you that boost, to draw you closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to taste that sweetness, so that after Ramadan you will be conscious of Him. إِنَّ لِلْمُتَّقِينَ مَفَازًا, indeed the muttaqeen, they are the successful ones. So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allow us to be successful in this world, and more importantly, successful in the after. Amin ya Rabbal Alamin. There's actually a request I had from you, and I don't know if you follow up with it. But I remember, I think it was either in or just before Ramadan, I said that after Ramadan, what do you see yourselves as? You know, what would you like to see? See, the guilty looks is it all. That guilty looks is it all. So now, whatever you wrote, maybe just open it up quickly. So you face reality. Because I know when you go home, I don't want to look at that. If you did write anything, then look at that and look at yourself. And is there any comparison? Is there any reality to what you wished? Because this was before Ramadan, at the beginning of Ramadan. I said, if you see yourself after Ramadan, what do you see? You know, what person? You know, something down. I myself had certain goals and objectives, and now we can look. Did I achieve it? Am I that? And if not, then the work needs to continue. The work, sorry, you did it. You achieved it. You did the homework. MashaAllah, Ahsan, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So good exercise, go back to it, reflect on it, look at it, what intention you did have after the Ramadan, what it is that you would like to be, and then reflect as to whether you achieve your goals. If not, what was the cause that didn't achieve it, and then put in the next three actions, because these aspirations that we have to have. Again, keeping the end in mind. Second habit, keeping the end in mind. So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept of us, and may we reflect on our actions now after Ramadan to see if the Ramadan was accepted. Ameen. We're busy with verse number 19. So again, Surah Al-Hajj, very intense surah, very heavy surah. The surah starts out speaking about the day of Qiyamah, and we made the connection that Hajj itself is that preparation for that day. Hajj itself is where you're standing in front of Allah. For the men, they're standing in two garments with absolutely nothing. If there can be a billionaire next to you, and there can be a pauper, and there won't be any difference. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Inna akramakum indallahi atqakum. The most honorable of you in the sight of Allah is the one with the most taqwa. So these two people, the one is a billionaire and the one is a pauper, when they are resurrected, the taqwa is what is going to count. That billions might be absolutely nothing, that billions might be against him. And the one that had absolutely nothing might have a high rank in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So this is how the Hajj, the Surah of Hajj starts reminding us of that reality. Then just going back to verse number 18, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala speaks about how everything in the heavens and the earth makes sujood to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Alam tara anna Allah yasjud lahu man fi samawati wa man fi al-ard wash-shams wal-qamar wan-nujum wal-jibal wash-shajar wad-dawab. Everything, every single thing, they are in submission to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And often that connection is made between, if everything else is doing it, then where do we find ourselves? That everything in the universe is submitting to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Where do we find ourselves? So the next verse, a very serious verse, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, بعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم هذان خصمان. These two groups. Khasam is to be someone who is an opponent. So these two opposing groups, these two groups of people that are opposing one another. اختصموا. From khasama, اختصموا. On what bab is this? Did I hear properly now? Okay, let's try again. What bab is ikhtasamu on? 8th bab. So on the 8th bab, this word khasam from opponent is to be, it's intensified. So these two groups are violently opposing one another. And what? Fi rabbihim, regarding their Lord. Whether there is a Lord or whether there is not a Lord, but it's very intense. فَالَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا. As for those who have rejected. Now remember, just going to the verse before this, everything in the heavens and the earth is submitting to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Here you get two opposing groups who have intellect, but the one is fighting and saying there's no God. I'm an atheist, or someone else's God. or whatever the case may be. This is after everything submits, you get this intellectual that comes to this conclusion. So not only does he come to the conclusion, Allah says he's an opponent. He's displaying that, and he pushes his ideology, and he if necessary he fights if he has to. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says regarding those who reject, قُطِّعَتْ. Now qata'a means to cut. قُطِّعَتْ. On the second bab, anything that's on the second bab, it shows intensity. قَتَلَ to kill. قَتَلَ to massacre. So قُطِّعَتْ. This is something that has really been carved out, cut out, lahum for him. ثِيَابٌ, clothes, مِن نَارٍ, of the fire. It's as if these garments have been specifically carved out, specifically for these people, because of the way they're acting, the way they're going against this deen of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the way they are turning away from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. After the verse just said that everything in the heavens and the earth is submitting. So again, where do we find ourselves? Are we of those that are submitting or not? Surah Adiyat speaks about the horses, and very vivid description. The horses are panting, and the horses are galloping, and the sparks are coming, and the dust is coming up, and they go into the middle of the battle. And this horse, and we know animals have a heightened sense of awareness, doesn't really care about what's going to happen in this battle. I need to listen to my master. And immediately after Allah gives this heavy description, He says, Innal insana li rabbihi, indeed mankind to his Lord, lakanud. It's very ungrateful. A horse with a heightened sense of awareness goes into the battle because its master wants it to. And us that are just living, alhamdulillah, lives, roof over our head, the rizq coming from wherever, we can't follow the command of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Very problematic. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says very severely here, an opponent to Islam who pushes his ideology and so on and so forth, specific garments are being carved out, cut out for him. Yusabbu, and will be poured min fawqi ru'usihim, from above his head, hamim, the boiling water. The tafsir speaks about the battle of Badr and how two groups came out. But any verse, we look at the generality of the verse so that everyone can take benefit from it. But there were two groups of people, and whenever there was a battle, they first sent out maybe 2 or 3 people, and the battle would start with these 2 or 3 combating before the war ensued. So if I can remember correctly, it was Ali radiallahu anh, and then 2 other Sahaba, and then 3 opponents. And alhamdulillah, the 2 out of the 3 were victorious. All 3 were victorious, but the one was injured, and he died at a later stage. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala makes mention of this, that here these people are coming, and they are actually fighting so that this deed cannot continue. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, for these people, Jahannam awaits them. But again, not restricting ourselves to the tafsir, but rather, if we find ourselves in any way, barring someone from doing good, barring someone from moving closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we can slowly and easily fall into this category. And we need to be very conscious of this, easily, and we know the reality. You try to take a path, you try to start coming right, you try to live your life right, you try to bring your children onto that path, and then your whole family is against you. You always see this, isn't it so? You just want to be salih. You now, this person, you got a chip on your shoulder. How can you take your children out to school for khif? They're going to be stupid, they're going to be backwards. And you hear 120 stories. Why must your family be the ones that's fighting you? What I'm saying here is, we mustn't be of them. That is very serious. We can't be of them because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala very seriously says those opponents is a place that is not a good place for them. So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect us from being of those that deter others from doing good, and those who are deterring us, we make dua Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guides them away from it, because we don't want a difficult ending for them on the day of judgment. Ameen ya Rabbal Alameen. The verses continue, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Yusharu, to be melted, bihi, with it, with this hamim, with this boiling water, ma fi butunihim, that which is in their bellies, wal julud, and their skins are going to be melted with it. It's very serious. And again, going back to the verse, that everything in the heavens and the earth, wash-shams wal-qamar wal-nujum, wash-shajar wal-dawab, everything submits to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Who are you to fight against the deen of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? So this is the result of going against Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and His commands to us. يُصْحَرُ بِهِ, to be melted with it, مَا فِي بُطُونِهِمْ, that which is in the bellies, وَالْجُلُودِ, and the skins. لَهُمْ, for them, مَقَامِعُ. Maqami is like rods with hooks on it. It is these rods min hadid, from iron. So there's going to be rods of iron that is going to be grabbing them and taking them into Jahannam. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect us from that. Kullama, every time, aradu, they wish, arada, yuridu. What bab is this? Kullama aradu. So in the fourth bab, every time they wish, they want, they will, ay yakhruju, to exit minha, from it being the fire of Jahannam, min ghammin, because of the state of anguish. Gham is to feel difficulty. Because of the state of anguish, u'idu fiha, they are returned into it. Wadhuqu, and taste adab al-hariq, the punishment of al-hariq. Hariq, one of the names of the fire of Jahannam. So we see the seriousness of that, opposing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, opposing people that wish to strive on the path. And very importantly, we make dua, we are not okay. If there's anything that a person wishes to strive towards and draw closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then we should not be in their way. Obviously, if they causing more harm to themselves in this path that they're doing, then we advise. But don't be of those that are causing harm to them and trying to deter them from doing this. And then again, we make dua for those that do oppose, whether they are friends or our family or anybody, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guides him to something is more beautiful. And they can rather advise you in a beautiful way, but not oppose the action of wanting to strive towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We'll find that there's always a beautiful balance in the Holy Quran. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala speaks about Jahannam, then He will balance it with Jannah. And when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala speaks about Jannah, then He will balance it with Jahannam. Why? Because a believer is between two things, khawf or raja. He's always in between fearing Jahannam, fearing standing in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, fearing that reality, and raja, he has hope in the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And this two is very important components that we need to have. If you only have hope, Allah is Ghafoor Rahim, and Allah, every time you hear that, I come here and you smack his face. Because the person does everything wrong, and now Allah is Ghafoor Rahim. That's like, seriously, Allah is the most merciful, but He wants us to at least strive, at least put into action. So yes, Allah is the most merciful, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Inna Allah Sari'un Hisab, that is also very swift in reckoning. So there has to be that too. If you're only going to believe that Allah is the most merciful, it means you can do what you want to when you want to. It's like the Christians, Jesus died for my sins, so you can do what I want to do. You can do it. We can't have that approach. But also we can't be so fearful of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that we give up hope. We know up north, it's become a thing now where the scholars have become so strict on the whole Jahannam aspect. And from some of my seniors, I heard that it was like that to a certain degree here as well, that you raise your children with, you're going to be punished and you're going to Jahannam, and you see that happened because you didn't listen to, and so on and so forth. And this concept of Allah being this evil, harsh, and so on and so forth. So what has happened now up north is a lot of people, because this is the only concept that the scholars are pushing, they feel that, okay, so why worry then? If I do anything, the smallest thing wrong, I'm going to Jahannam, so I might as well just live my life. So we can't also go to that extreme. We can't go to the extreme that yes, everything is just Jahannam, and the smallest mistake, whatever the case may be. 113 out of the 114 surah starts with Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Allah is the most merciful, the especially merciful. But very important that we have the understanding of that balance. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant us that understanding of balance. If you do slip up, if you do fall into sin, if you fall into something that you weren't supposed to do, then now is the time to hold on to the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Turn back to Him in tawbah, turn back to Him. Ya Allah, shower me with the mercy, bring me back onto the path. And that's why mercy is there. But also, if you fall into sin and you relish in that sin, and you're going to continue in that sin, and you're going to live your life in sin, then know the serious consequences. So that's where the balance lies. And so again, Why I'm speaking about balance? Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala balances our understanding of who He is with the next verse. When He says, Inna Allah, indeed Allah. This word Allah, we know it comes as harf nas because it is the ism of Inna. The emphasis over there that indeed Allah. Allah is the one that is the doer. Or at least emphasis is being put on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's name over here. Yudkhilu, He enters. Adkhala, yudkhilu, bab, fourth bab. Yudkhilu alladhina amanu, He enters those who believe. وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ, and they do good deeds. Again, the concept of Iman and action, the two are never divorced. إِنَّ الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ وَالْعَصْرِ إِنَّ الْإِنسَانَ لَفِي خُسْرٍ إِلَّا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ. The two cannot be divorced. We can't say the Iman is in my heart, that's why I don't need to do X, Y, and Z. My Iman is in my heart, so don't judge me. We're not judging. Allah has put the two together. If the Iman is in your heart, it has to show on the lips. Part of our tenets of faith, number one, is the Arkanul Iman, which is 6, and then Arkanul Islam. Iman is internal and Islam is external. Shahada, to say the Shahada, to do the Salah, to show it on your lips, to fast in the month of Ramadan, to give zakah, to go on Hajj. The two comes together. This is the beauty of Islam. You know, it's a balanced approach of your internal and your external. Internal and external. So, Inna alladhina amanu. Sorry, Inna Allah yudkhilu alladhina amanu wa amilu salihat. Your Iman is going to show on your limbs. As a result of that, Allah is going to enter you where? Jannatin, into gardens. Tajri min tahtiha al-anhar, where rivers are flowing beneath. Yuhallawna, they will be adorned. Yuhallawna, they will be adorned. Fiha, in it, in Jannah, min asawira, with bracelets, min dhahabin, of gold, wa lu'lu'a, and pearls, wa libasuhum, and the clothing, fiha, harir, is going to be silk. So this is what we can enjoy. We can look forward to it. It's relaxing. Jewelry, enjoyment, silk. Just picture your silk garments, guys. Ya Allah Akbar. Takbir. It's going to be incredible. I can't wait. This is what awaits us. This is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's promise. And then very importantly, I think I just need to mention this here, because sometimes you see it still happening, not sure if the person is maybe unaware or he's chosen not to follow. But the fact that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala doesn't allow us to wear gold and silk in Jannah, one of the things that are prohibited in this dunya for males is to wear gold, so to wear gold rings and so on and so forth, and to wear silk. And often you find people, males, still wear gold rings. It's very problematic. Rasulullah came to the Sahaba one day, he was wearing gold rings, and Rasulullah took it off and he threw it like that. And as a show that, look, this is serious, because that gold is going to be branded on you in Jahannam, because you're doing something that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not permitting. So thereafter, one of the companions, Rasulullah left, and he said, no, but you can still use gold, you can sell gold, you can trade gold, you can have it, what's it called, like melted and used for some other purpose. He says, after Rasulullah did that, I don't even want to pick up that ring. He was so like, yo, did that just happen now? And even though the gold could be used again, it was still permissible, it had that effect on him. And I think this is an important reminder for us that it's not permissible for male to wear gold, and in the silk as well. But don't worry, Jannah, inshallah, so they have your silk garments and everything and so on and so forth. So libasum fiha, the clothing therein is going to be harir. Wahudu, and this is beautiful. Wahudu, hudu is madi or mudari? Madi. So they were guided. إلى الطيب من القول. They were guided to good speech. So in this world, they had good conduct, they had good speech, they spoke to one another in a beautiful way. The tafsir of this says they were guided to a tayyib, a pure speech, and that is the kalima la ilaha illallah, that they often had on their tongues, la ilaha illallah. They professed the kalima la ilaha illallah, they lived the kalima la ilaha illallah. So they were guided to that. وَهُدُوا, and they were guided إِلَى تُو صِرَاطٍ a path, al-hamid, that was praiseworthy, a praiseworthy path. They were walking the path, they tried, they strove. Thus, they are now being adorned with gold. They are being adorned with silver. They are being adorned with the silk. Something beautiful about this word hudu. It comes from hidayah, guidance, ihdina. It's something that we ask for every single day in our salah, every single day. In the fara'id, if we only do the fara'id, then 17 times a day we are asking for this. And Allah subhanahu now says, when they entered into Jannah, why were they entered into Jannah? Because Allah answered the dua that they were making in the salah every day. Wahudu. They asked ihdina and Allah guided them. The other beauty of this word is, when you're asking ihdina from guidance, hidayah, one of the root letters of hidayah is also hadiyah. What does hadiyah mean? A gift. So they're not only being guided, they've been gifted with this. And you're asking Allah, don't only guide, but gift me to be on the straight path. And if Allah places you on that, know that He's gifted you. He's gifted you with the ultimate gift, which is guidance. So may this be our case, inshallah. وَهُدُوا إِلَى الطَّيِّبِ مِنَ الْقَوْلِ, to be guided to beautiful speech, to pure speech, to correct speech, to the kalima la ilaha illallah, and to live that kalima. وَهُدُوا إِلَى صِرَاطِ الْحَمِيدِ, and to be guided onto a path that is praiseworthy, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala speaks of. Question? Al-Hamid over here is Sirat al-Hamid. That's the name, yes, that's correct. I was looking at as a sifa, but it's actually it is what the sifa of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So they were guided to the path of Al-Hamid, which can't be the sifa because it doesn't agree yet. It's mudafun ilayh. So the path of Al-Hamid, the path of the praiseworthy. So good reflection over there. So our time is up. That's quick, and I really don't get to see you. They say time flies with you. So alhamdulillah, I hope you're enjoying the classes. So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept of us. There's a few beautiful verses coming up that's actually going to speak about the Hajj, speak about Ibrahim alayhi salam, speak about the call that he made. Is there anyone here going on Hajj this year? Three ladies and the guys. Anybody? No? Okay. So for those who are going, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant each and everyone a Hajj Mabrur, inshallah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala take them safely there, grant them spiritual upliftment, protect all the belongings that are going to be the side, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant them to come back safely, inshallah. Those who yearn to go, and it's all about the niyyah. You make the niyyah and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala facilitates. Allah grant you to go soon, inshallah. And those who have gone, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant us to go again. آمين يا رب العالمين. إن لا تنجز جزاك الله خير وآخر دعوانا الحمد لله. See. Yeah, that's it, yeah. Allah, mashallah. Okay. Likes it. Beautiful, man. Beautiful. Barakallah.